Stewart, and as promised, I'm talking today about what's going on behind the scenes and also sharing my thoughts about the last few weeks and also insights as to what we're planning to do following the polls. So thank you to all of you who filled in the first poll about symptoms, because obviously that's given me much more information about what you would like to deal with in the order that you'd like to deal with it. So, which, as I said last time, was a bit surprising because I thought that hot flushes and night sweats would be top of the poll. And whilst I think they are for many of you, there are lots of other symptoms like fatigue and aches and pains and insomnia and even panic attacks and palpitations that are really very concerning at this particular life stage. So the polls are good, and if you haven't already put your vote on the poll about how you'd like to learn, then please do so, because I'll be taking that down at the end of today. But it's been interesting. Obviously, I can see that lots of you want bite-sized chunks, and things like little booklets will be helpful. Sorry, just a minute. And also to be able to, sorry, I've got somebody on my phone. So to be able to learn and to watch films or to read things. I know sometimes when you're going through this particular stage in your life that you can't retain information. And so maybe a big book will be quite daunting for you to take on board. But in fact, the book, the way it's designed at the moment, is broken into little chapters, and it's magazine style, so that it isn't too easy, it's not too difficult to digest. Sorry, that was my granddaughter FaceTiming me, so I got pretty distracted. So what I'm planning to do, given that you've talked about wanting the bite-sized chunks, is to go back to the drawing board and maybe do some booklets on those topics that you've talked about. So things like fatigue, boosting your energy, and obviously hot flushes as well, but the other things like insomnia and panic attacks, and just taking them one by one. That's certainly a possibility, and I can do some films to go with it. But as most of you know, when I first started this group, which was just over 2 months ago now, I didn't know a thing about Facebook. I mean, I had a page on Facebook, which was really more keeping in touch with my very close friends and seeing what my kids were up to. But apart from that, I didn't know anything about Facebook. And I wasn't a member of a group, so I didn't know how anything worked. So this has been a very big learning curve for me. And I've come to realize that there are lots of different support groups for people going through the menopause. And mostly they are groups where people exchange information about what they're trying and how they're managing, as well as obviously supporting each other through this nightmarish time. In the last 2 or so months, we've got over 5,000 members. So I didn't dream that that would happen in this such short space of time. So what's effectively happened, and the good thing is that Facebook has brought us all together, because my goal is to educate and help people to get through this stage in their lives and come out the other end without any symptoms. But the bad thing is that with Facebook, these groups, I've come to realize that you can't organize information. So what's happening is, as new members are joining, they're asking the same questions that have been asked probably a dozen times before. And I'm answering where I can, because obviously I can't answer everybody's question, but they go into the ether. They get lost in little threads of information. There's nowhere to archive them. I can't alphabetize. So if you've got, if you've had an early menopause, or if you've had a hysterectomy, or if you're worried because you're taking thyroxine and you don't know whether you can take supplements, or whatever the question is, the answer probably has been up. Somebody said yesterday, oh, Maryon Stewart hasn't answered my question about panic attacks and palpitations. Well, I have answered those questions. I've answered them several times. I don't know where the information is. So and the other thing I've noticed is that a lot of people are coming on and sharing what's happened to them but it isn't necessarily, the things that have helped one individual may not necessarily help another. And what my program does, which is the program that's been running for over 25 years, is it takes all that science shows works and puts it together in a program. So it's effectively, it's like a tool bag, and it's got lots of different tools in the bag. And I can use those tools to help people depending on what the symptoms are and what their everything to do with their tastes, their budget, and what they're suffering with most to start with. So it's not just taking a pill or drinking a glass of soy milk or whatever it happens to be. It's a whole program. And that's the thing that I find a bit frustrating, that I suppose, and I was thinking about this a lot yesterday, because there was an exchange with a few people yesterday that made me really think seriously. And I think I have to take responsibility, because although I've outlined what my goal was in my description of the group, I haven't really emphasized that this group is completely different to any other group that supports people going through the menopause. And the reason it's different is because I'm an expert and I've had 25 years experience helping women go through the menopause. I've got a really successful program. I've helped probably tens, if not hundreds of thousands of women all over the world to get symptom free. And I reckon I've got another good 5 years in me, and I want to help women. I want to help people to know that they don't have to suffer at this life stage anymore. And so what I'm trying to do, or what I was trying to do, was bring my wisdom into a group. But obviously having over 5,000 members and I'm constantly bombarded with questions, not just in the group, but also messaging and emails, and it's tricky. I can't deal with it all. So I've had to think really carefully about what to do next. And we had a focus group about 2 weeks ago with a few of the women from the group to ask about how they saw this going forward, and just to exchange opinions about what we should do next. And I think what I'm planning to do now is, or since after the focus group, I decided I would do this anyway, but I think it needs to be done sooner rather than later, is I need to set up a membership place. So if you imagine a bit like Weight Watchers or Slimming World or whatever that people belong to and go to regularly, this will be a place online where you can come and actually join as a member for a very small fee, but nevertheless, you're a member. And as a result of your membership, you will get information on a regular basis. You'll get the e-booklets. You'll get the little films you're asking for. There'll be other things going on, like interviews with other experts, and as much wisdom as I can physically give to help you get through this life stage. And that way we can organize it, because at the moment it's just so disorganized. That way I can archive things. All the films I've made can be there. We can describe them. You can go and look at them. You can go back if you're wanting to find out how to deal with headaches or vaginal dryness or whatever it happens to be. I mean, yesterday I was reading a whole thread on low libido and people talking about the fact that they just don't have any libido anymore. And I've been answering those questions. It doesn't have to be that way. You can actually, your body goes into economy mode. And when you are short of nutrients and your estrogen level's low and you're really, really clapped out, you just can't function normally. And things like libido disappear. But when you fill yourself up again, when you learn how to meet your needs, then your libido comes back again. And so your symptoms can be controlled, you can get back to feeling great, but I need to give you proper information. At the moment, I feel like I'm doing you a disservice. I feel like I've opened this platform, everyone's swapping information about what they've tried. I'm being bombarded with questions, I'm answering them, and then people aren't seeing that I've answered them, and it's just not a viable way to go forward. So I'm going to go back to the drawing board and work out how I can do something much better for you. My team are already working on it, and I will come back and let you know more about it as the days go by this week. And I've been working on an article that's going to be appearing in the national press. I'll tell you about it a bit later on in the week when I know for sure which day it's appearing. But it's about this very subject, and it's about midlife and what happens to us at midlife. And we're going to be giving away a free little booklet, the first of the booklets, which is called Are You Nutritionally Deficient? So I want to make that available to members as well. And in order to do that, you have to go and log in to get it. You have to just put your email address in, and then you'll get it downloaded. So because I can't deal with it in the Facebook group, it just doesn't work like that, apparently. So if you can bear with me, I mean, if anyone else has any good ideas and would like to join our next focus group, that's great too. But I need to keep getting your feedback so that I can better understand. And I feel like I am getting the picture now. So I feel like I really do understand what it is you want. Just to recap, it's bite-sized chunks of information. At the moment, the book is in a private space. So when people buy the book and the film, they get an invitation to the private space where you can watch the film in chapters and you can download the book in chapters. So it's not, you don't have this great big mass of information to get through. Also, the people that have bought the book are in a different group so that I'm then able to give them more answers because they've got the information, and then they're asking me questions about the information. So, for example, today someone was asking, what to drink instead of having what she usually drinks that I would recommend, or other people were asking about some different supplements that they were thinking of trying, and obviously it's all laid out in the book. So I was just talking about how you weigh up one against the other and what to choose. So it's just really important for me, and maybe for some of you this isn't the group you thought it was, and that's fair enough. So if you want to go and be in a support group where everyone is sharing their own experiences, and I don't want you to stop sharing experiences, by the way, it's just that I want you to understand that the hunt for proper information, effective information about how you overcome menopause symptoms is over. And if you want to go through the recovery journey with me, you're in the right place. But if that's not what you came here for, then I obviously will understand if you choose to go to one of the other groups. So that's entirely up to you. But I just wanted to share what's going on in my head and in my heart, because I really want to help you, or certainly I want to help the people that really want to be helped. And that's what this group is about. So I will elaborate more about that. I will obviously change the description of the group so people understand that. And I will be making a new film to welcome new members so that they understand what I'm putting on the table. So hopefully that clarifies things for you. I hope those of you that are doing a bit of self-help at the moment are benefiting, and I look forward to sharing more of this journey with you as the weeks and months progress. Thank you.